because I can't hide my emotions. It's like I'm really trying, but it's not working, you know. And I know I'm bad at this, so it's even worse. Like I'm trying, you know. I'm trying.
Tell me how you worked through last year, because you've worked through adversity in different ways, right?
Yeah.
You had the time in TL, the headaches, and not being able to be there for the team. You've made it to the multiple finals with FlyQuest so close. Oh. Sorry, I'm recounting all of these.
There's a lot of hard moments.
Or last split, which was hard as well, right? Yeah. With different expectations, but then definitely not hitting those. Come on!
Oh yeah, you're digging, you know?
We're going right in. Yeah. Right in.
So it's funny because like when I look back, you know, like FlyQuest, TL.
Yeah.
I mean, we won the lock-in, but we didn't actually win, you know, the split.
Yeah.
Now I look at it happy.
Yeah.
Because like we still made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Like we're doing great. Like I love the teams, like this kind of stuff. But in the moment, you're like, dude, we should have won. You know, like this kind of stuff.
Of course.
And you have a lot of regret. And
yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, looking back now, I'm like, you know, it's more of a peaceful, like a happy moment.
Sure.
Whereas like, you know, when you're in the middle of it, you know, it's really tough. And
how long do you feel like it was back then you finally like let the sting go away? Like, was it like a week, a month, a couple, until like last split? Like how long was it?
I mean, so I think the one that was the hardest for me was on FlyQuest when we lost to TSM 3-2. That one stung for a very long time because not only had I not been to a finals for a very long time, it's also against my former organization that I got my only title with.
Yeah.
And then losing 3-2 in the finals is something, you know, like, I mean, I was happy making it to the finals, but you're always like, dude, you're so close. And it had to be a 3-2. Like, when I just get 3-0 and just feel like, okay, they're the better team, it's like, those hurt. And for me, it took a while. Like, it probably, you know, I mean, even now, I'll still think back to like drafting and like, what we should have done different, like even to this day. But I think like, I'm pretty good at getting over stuff, so like, you know, like it probably just took a couple of weeks, but I'd say the first week was very hard. But then, you know, you go to Worlds and it's all good, but...
I mean, you had the Worlds experience, and remember, that was with, I think, Sola, who like slotted in right there at the very end, so there was a lot of positive to take away from that split, I felt like.
Yeah, for sure. And then, you know, talking about Dig Spring, quite miserable, you know? I mean, starting 0-9 is not really... And I think the hardest part was like when you're told that you literally can't make playoffs anymore. It's like, well, why am I playing? You know, it's like, like you play to win and you play to, you know, lift the trophy and all these things, and it's out of reach already. Like, you know, a couple of weeks in.
I hate to be this guy that's just been hitting you over the head, but like, that's the hardest part. Isn't the hardest part being like, all right, we're 0-8 and we need to shoot some content, Lucas?
I mean, that one is that is very tough. It's like anytime you hear like, oh, you have an injury, you're like, oh no, do I need to like pretend I'm happy, or do I just say I'm fucking sad? Or?
It wasn't just that. Look, with interviews, all of us try to like, you know,
you're pretty good at like, you know, making it easy, but
right, because it's pretty one-to-one. But I felt it was like the Dignitas content because they're like, oh, you have to be happy. Like I'm here, I'll bounce off of you, right? But over at that stuff, it's like you can't be miserable doing.
It's hard, you know. And I'm not a good actor, so it's very hard to like hide my emotions. So
because you guys were doing you guys reread it. It was like the Reddit.
Yeah, it was tough.
I was like, oh man,
because I can't hide my emotions. It's like I'm really trying, but it's not working, you know. And I know I'm bad at this, so it's even worse. Like I'm trying, you know. I'm trying.
You're not bad. One, you're not bad at it, but you're definitely very honest, and that's why I was like, this content series isn't gonna make it, man. Like,
I mean, you know, I respect the content, and I want to do content, but sometimes it's hard, you know. Like, sometimes it's not happy moments.
Hard to do it when it's a tough day, a tough week, a tough split.
Yeah, and it's like, are we winning at any point? Like, are we gonna get it though?
Oh, all right. Thank you for being a good sport and diving into that. You guys have obviously changed it around this split with the amount of wins that you've had, but also the way that you guys are playing the game, the firepower that you have now with the stability in the bot lane, and now in the top side of the map with Rich coming on in. A couple of, we have a new Dig Baron term coming in. Like, how has this split felt for you?
A lot better. I mean, obviously, I still want to have a better record. I still want to do even better. We can still be a lot better as a team, but just feeling like if I have a bad game, we can still win the game. And if another player has a bad game, we can still win the game. That's not something we had last split. It's like if someone has a bad game, we're losing because our macro is really bad. We're not really a good team, and we're not like, our fundamentals are really bad. But now it's like, yo, if one guy is 0-3, we can still win the game. And that's a great feeling to have. Because then it's like you can make mistakes and be okay with it. Like you learn from your mistakes and you can move on. But when you're like losing every game if you make one mistake, it's like suddenly you get very anxious about even doing something because, oh, if I make a mistake, like, oh, the game just ends, you know? That's not a good, like, atmosphere to be in, and environment. And I think, that's like the biggest thing for me. It's like now it feels more okay making mistakes, and that's the only way you improve. Like everyone's gonna make mistakes, like no matter who you are. So, and it was kind of hard to have that mindset in spring when you're losing every single game. It's like it's fine making mistakes.
It feels weird when the results. I mean, and you can empathize with what FlyQuest is going through, right? When the results aren't paying off there, and you're trying so many different things. Were there some like awkward, weird things that you were trying last split that you don't need to do this split?
Yeah, I mean, I'll say I did a lot of stupid shit. Like, I'll just be honest, because it kind of felt like sometimes you hit a point where you're like, nothing is working, let's just try something. Like, and I remember a couple games where I did some very stupid stuff. Like, I'd just like send it to Nanya with Vi and just like die, or like I do some really dumb stuff because like it felt like if I'm not doing anything, we're losing. But that's not the right mentality to have, obviously, and that's also something I've talked about before. It's like, that shift in mindset was something I should have done earlier, and like be fine with losing it and be fine making mistakes still, even though like it might result in another loss. Like just being more open to making a play and being okay with the result, whether it's win or lose. Because either way, like you can play a lot better individually, and I feel like I was not stepping up to the plate, and that's something I was really very upset about. I think that's like actually what I was the most upset about is me not performing, because I feel like I've been a very stable player throughout my career. I mean, people can talk about 2015 summer, that kind of stuff. Could do a lot better.
That was 8 years ago, man.
Yeah, I know, but it's still gonna haunt me to this day. It's like, damn, I couldn't.
Thanks,
play.
Reddit. You did it. You're in his head.
No, it's more like I couldn't play tanks back then, and there's just tanks only. So,
Lucas, it's okay, please. Like.
But I mean, that's just who I am. Like I hate when I feel like I'm letting someone down or letting my team down. So even if I played well, maybe we still wouldn't win games, but at least I'd feel like I'm doing my part. And I wasn't doing my part, and that's why it sucked even more for me. That's something that I'm always going to be like regretful about, because you can always, like, even if you have like even if your team is not doing so well, like if you're stepping up to the plate, you'll probably get a couple more wins. Like the team atmosphere might be a little bit better. So that's something like this split. I really want to make sure that I perform. And I think I've had a fair bit of bad games so far. So I'm really trying to.
I remember a particular Vi dive on the top side of the map for Rich.
You gotta bring that up. Yeah, that one was. I don't know. I think someone took over my PC. I think Riot does have the. I think they can probably control my.
How
keyboard.
noble! Santorin had his PC taken over, and he still didn't pause. No excuses here. No
excuses because they didn't allow me to pause.
Oh, okay. All right, never mind. I tried to be nice.
No, but that was really disgusting. I'm not gonna lie.
Close this out with now talking to me about the additions that you had, finding stability with Tomo, Diamond coming in, and Rich coming on in. How do you feel about those players and how it has changed the team?
I mean, it feels good. I mean, I think, I'm always gonna say this, like, Rich is freaking amazing. Like, he's very, very good. And it's not only laning phase, he's really good at team fighting. He's a very nice person. Like, if he'll make mistakes, he's like open and honest about it, but also doing it like in a respectful way. So like, it's really nice having him on board. And then obviously, Diamond and Tomo, they played together for a long time. It feels very natural. And I think, that Diamond's going to keep getting better too, because he was playing in Academy for a long time. So he's kind of used to people making more mistakes. So he has more, like, he sees more opportunities than there are, because like you're used to like, okay, he's Walker, like I can punish, but now it's like, okay, they're baiting, like this kind of stuff. But he's getting there now, and with more time, he's going to be even better. So I've been really happy with like how the roster is right now. And now I feel like we're actually playing the game, and we're playing as a team, and I think that's the biggest one, playing as a team, because from spring to summer, I think that's the biggest change.
So what is the realistic regular season goals here for you?
Regular season goals.
Right, you're at 4-4.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm asking realistic. Like everyone wants to win and go to Worlds, right? But like at 4-4, in the middle of the split, it is a big bunch in the middle. Where do you see yourself? Because you beat TSM, who was also 3-4. So
yeah, I mean, we play Energy tomorrow, so that's also a good factor. But honestly, like as long as we get top 6, I'm happy going into playoffs because I just don't want to be 7 or 8 because then you're like in the lower bracket already or something like that. So honestly, I've like almost always had this mindset where as long as you're in like a good state of the bracket, like I don't really care if I'm first or second or 5th or 6th. Like, I mean, okay, so first and second actually get an advantage too, but like just in terms of like what like number you have, right? Because even on TL, we were like, I think we had a split where we were first in regular season, but it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't do anything, you know. Like so for me, like as long as we're top 6, I'm happy. Obviously, I want to aim higher than that, but I think realistically speaking, I think nothing more than probably top 4 in regular season.
All right, there we go. Always a pleasure, Lucas. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it, and thanks for letting me bully you a little bit there at the top.
It's all good. I mean, I'm a jungler.
Last question is, I've been asking players, tell me a story about a teammate, an old teammate.
A story about an old
so you're
teammate.
another one of the guys in the league where I can ask this question and you've got a lot of old teammates that you can tell a funny story.
A funny story?
Or like something.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, dude, now you're like trying to see if I actually have any brain cells left.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember that stuff. Okay,
it's hard to remember that, but then also like right after a game too. People forget. Like you were just...
Give me a sec, let me think.
Yeah, take your time.
Funny story.
Yeah, just if you think of an old teammate or an old character that you used to play with and be like, there's one time, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, God.
Impact gave me a story about Coma playing, having Coma yell over his shoulder about something, and then Impact went to go watch him play, and his screen was gray all the time, and then Coma was like, stop watching my screen.
I mean, God, my memory is bad, but like I don't think I have like a specific one-person story, but like in FlyQuest, sometimes at night we'd play like, God, what is it called? It's like TTT, like Trouble Terrorist Town, something like that, but it's like where like there's there's like 2 or 3 killers, and they...
Oh, it's like Mafia.
Yeah, kind of like that, right? And Ignar is just screaming and super loud all the time, and he literally makes the game so great. Like without him, it's like, why are we playing this? But like when he's there, he is so funny. Like Ignar's just like, he's such a character, and like, God, I'm never gonna forget those moments where like, you just see him yell like at top of his lungs. Like
any of those social construct games is always fun.
Yeah, when you have those kind of people, it's like, it makes it really good.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much. Thanks for the interview. And then if you want more, keep it locked here on Dignitas Esports.
Nice. I'm sorry. I swear there has to be better stories, but I actually don't. Bro, my memory is trash. Like if I talk to my